Hello and welcome to a Starcraft 2 commentary video with Gomjabar. Today we're analyzing a PvT strategy involving a double forge and a lot of gateway units. Double forge is something that was really popular for a brief time a while back. It was something Liquid Tyler and someone in the GSL did it first. I can't remember who, maybe Choyafoyu or something like that, or Hongun. Whoever did it, I remember Tyler got really big into rushing for Double Forge with a lot of upgrades, and then doing a big 2-base Colossus timing push with like 2/2 upgrades and like 3 Colossus, which is really strong. And you can look at that strategy in one of my older videos. But that style kind of fell out of favor for a while, and I think for me it was about the time when Liquid Tyler lost to Thorazane in the TSL using his double forge strategy. What Thorazane did was just go for 2 eBays and got double upgrades for his bio, and then he just crushed through Tyler's army, and it was a little underwhelming for the strategy, and I guess it turned a lot of players off. So recently, we've been seeing a lot more of this mass gateway style, especially with a lot of charge lots and archons. So I really think that Double Forge deserves to be looked at again in that context. Given what we know now about how good charge lots and archons are, I think that Double Forge is really an interesting idea that we should look more at. So let's talk about this opening real fast. And I see Terran has no gas. There are 2 possibilities right now for what Terran can be doing. Terran can do fast expansion with no gas. That's pretty common. Or Terran can do a Marine SCV all-in. If you 1-gate expand, the Marine SCV all-in is actually almost impossible to stop, at least in my opinion. I don't see a way to beat it when you're going 1-gate expand. You're not going to have hardly any units. Basically, when I see 2 gas, in order to be safe from Marine SCV all-in, or safer, it's still a pretty strong build, what I do is I go for a 3-gate. A 3-gate expand with pressure. And that's not going to set you behind, generally, unless they build it on low ground, which I can see he's not. If they build on low ground, it'll actually be really strong pressure. It'll be tough for them to hold it and not lift it off. So usually you're just going to delay the expansion from Terran, and your expo will be about even. But if they all in, the 3-gate helps you stay alive against that a lot better than 1-gate expand will. So that's the thought process for me. Incidentally, we're actually going to watch as I do the worst 3-gate pressure you've ever seen in your life. It's going to be really terrible, and you're just going to laugh at it. And that's fine. I'm going to laugh at it too. It's terrible. Yeah, so I get up here, I sneak the probe in. Let's just look at that again, because that's kind of a neat trick. What you do is you just send everything up at once. Typically, the probe is just going to sneak through while he tries to attack your army. And I can see what he's doing. I can see the command center. Everything's fine. And I'm just going to steal some minerals from him. Ha ha ha. Those are mine. Now they're lost forever. Alright, so I know he has a command center. I can throw down my Nexus very safely at this point. And warp gate's finished. And I have 1 sentry warp in, and then I got the bloodlock. Alright, so ideally what you're going to do in this situation is warp in 3 sentries, build a proxy pylon, warp in 3 stalkers or 3 zealots, and then, you know, go attack him. Instead, what's going to happen is I'm going to warp in some stuff randomly and make a really late pylon and have not enough sentries at all, and my attack's going to be like 3 warp gate cycles late. That's fine though. I'm just going to build my robo bay and not be super aggressive. And I will be, but I'm not going to try and like kill him and go all in with it. So here comes some more units. Got my expansion up. And now we're going to see some of that pressure. Got more warp-ins. And the bunkers finish right in the nick of time for Terran. And, you know, if our attack had gone just a little bit faster, which it easily could have if I hadn't screwed it up, we could have attacked before those bunkers even finished. So that's something to keep in mind. Getting this observer out, I always like to go fast robo after I expand or right before I expand, anything like that. I like a robo early on against Terran, because Terran has so many options. Like right now he could take both gas geysers and go 2-port Banshee, and you know, what am I gonna do? I need to see that coming. Or if he's going like big tank or Thor play, I've got to see that coming, because straight up gateway style isn't really going to cut it. And decent force fields, but yeah, he's got marauders. The bunkers are still up. I'm just killing free units at this point. I'm not really damaging his economy. Now I'm going to start my 2 forges. Since I'm committing so much to these units and to my aggression, the forges are a little late. But Terran's tech is quite late as well, since he expanded without taking any gas. So that's pretty fine as well. All my sentries are going to die and don't have any energy, and everything's bad. It's really terrible. So a quick note, at my natural, once I take it, I take 1 gas geyser. I don't need the second one yet. The second gas geyser is not necessary. So again, failed pressure. I'm just going to retreat here and lose some stuff. 4th century. And now we can see, obviously, Terran's pretty far ahead. Stim's about to finish. He has a pretty good timing right here. So, yeah. And I got my observer in here. I see not that much. You know, everything pretty standard for Terran. Now, of course, I've just got Zealot Stalker, and he has Stim finished. I need some sentries. Seriously need some sentries. And there they are. Sentries, yay. I like sentries. More gateways. Now I've got my second gas down. Base is under attack. So this 1-1 upgrade is going to finish around the time that his medevacs would ordinarily be out. If we quickly look over his base, he is making them, but of course they're slightly supply blocked. So am I, so I mean, it's not that like horrendous of a game-changing error here, but yeah, that's just what happens. But yeah, the 1-1 upgrades are a bit late just because of my pressure. But his tech is also late, so we're pretty much even at this point. Upgrades are going to finish quite soon. I want to catch him at this choke point here. And he's going to get the forge, but the upgrade finished. Whew. Nick of time right there. And once I want him to waste his first stim pretty much. That's a good thing. I mean, all of his units are such a low health here. And so let's talk quickly about the fast charge style that is also popular right now. In this situation, charge would be about finished at this point, and probably +1 armor. But you don't really need charge against this push. Charge isn't going to help me at this point. Force fields are what help me. And even if you get charge, he has to force field. I mean, yeah, you have to force field, and he can still kite without the force field. So I don't really think that going straight up fast charge is necessary anymore. I think that the 1-1 upgrades are going to help you a bit more than the charge will. And so that's what I'm doing. Also, I get an immortal or two to help out. Immortals are very strong, obviously. They're quite good. So, of course, I got to remake that forge. I can start the charge upgrade, get more immortals. And I've just killed off a Terran push, or I've defended against it. So what I'm going to do is go take a third base. This is about the time that Terran wants his third as well. He has medevacs, which gives him some map control if he starts dropping. So yeah, I see his third go up. And I have to remake this observer. Right, so right when 1-1 finishes, this Twilight Council should finish. You start it about 3/4 of the way through 1-1, or maybe 2/3. And then you're going to start charge and 2-2 at the same time. So again, I'm just warping in Zealots here. Just Zealots. And I want him to attack here, because then I get a nice concave and force field. That's exactly what I want. And, you know, charge is a great upgrade for the mid to late game. Not that necessary in the very early game. So I'm just sort of getting it later, after my third base starts. Or around the same time as my third base starts. We're focusing mostly on these upgrades and these gateway units here. Now, I'm spending all my minerals on Zealots and on this Nexus. My gas needs to go towards something, so I'm making this Templar Archives. Also, of course, going toward these upgrades, charge, and 2-2. And now I've got to go head out, take out his army. Really not great force fields here. These could be much, much better. But doing pretty well right now. Keep in mind, I really can't kill Terran until like the late game when I do this style. And it's the same with Charge Lot Archon rushing. Pretty much, oh, we killed that observer again. Pretty much, if Terran has like decent Sim City or a few bunkers, it's hard to break it with Charge Lots, because he can funnel them into small choke points. So we're just not going to deal with it until a bit later in the game. Third base is up, everything's great. So now we're getting more gateways. I have to spend this money. You can really afford like a ton of gateways off the 3 base. I'm talking like over 10, and you really should. So yeah, I've got about 8 gateways at the moment. Making more observers. Getting my 3 upgrades. 3 armor will start shortly. So this is a pretty fast third base, for Protoss against the Terran. Pretty much what allows us, we're just relying on force fields, gateway units, and immortals in the early game and mid game that allows us to take that third base and keeps us safe from any early pushes. Obviously, when his bio gets out of control, we're going to need some AoE. We need those Archons and those Colossus. And yeah, we can see now that, again, bad force fields, but he can't really engage this army straight up right now. So the upgrades are done. He's dropping over here. Not really a big deal. Yeah, he gets a little bit of free damage. I can see his third base is up and running. And now we have our Colossus starting. Just like with the Charge Lots and the Archons, once we hit about 3 or 4 bases, we're going to switch over to double Robo Colossus really suddenly. And we're going to hit an amazing timing attack, as we will soon see with this 3-3 and the Colossus. of course, he's getting lots of ghosts and marines. This is the army Terra needs to get to deal with the mass gateway style. You know, a healthy mix of marauders and marines, and some ghosts to deal with the EMPs. To deal the EMPs, to take out sentries and immortals and archons and all that good stuff. So here we're going to see the 3 armor finishing around the same time these Colossus finish. If we do some really quick math, we can see that a Colossus takes 75 seconds to build in-game. So in about a minute and 40 in-game seconds, we can make 4 Colossus from 2 robos. So that's just a really, really fast amount of Colossus. You know, it's hard for Terran to quickly get up the Viking count to deal with that when we do a push this size. So here comes the push. And we're going to take out that factory. Now, we're going to switch over to everyone cam for this battle because something pretty funny happens here. We're going to see these ghosts. We're going to cloak, move inside the army, and then EMP everything including themselves. Whoops. So not quite so good there. And now he has no Vikings. He really can't deal with the Colossus. We got Archons, we have Charge-a-Lots, everything's great. We're going to win this game. Fantastic. And of course taking a 3rd base. Or 4th base, in fact. Immortals doing so much. And there's the GG. Really strong timing. We're at 3-3 against his 1-1 infantry. You know, 4 base against 3. We were never really behind in the whole game, and we're never really in danger. There's no real timing that just kills us. I mean, the ghost timing is strong, but that's strong against every single opening. You know, pretty much we're just getting those upgrades. We're microing well in order to deal with those mid-game stim pushes and medevac pushes. And we're just heading toward an amazingly strong late game with these really heavily upgraded units. A lot of Colossus very quickly. And everything's really solid. So we're going to look at the next game here and look at maybe a bit of a more standard game with more standard timings here. Okay, and we're back. This is going to be another game and a really bad probe split with myself and my practice partner Silver, who has appeared in previous videos. And we're just going to go a little faster through this opening since it is the second game. And, you know, we're going to look at pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to do a different build. But we're still going for that charge lot Archon style, or the heavy upgraded charge lot Archon style, pretty much. We're going for the double forge, is what I'm trying to say. So here comes the probe scout, getting in there. I see a tech lab. I see nothing else. This looks like a 1 Brax expand. Everything's great. And yeah, we're going to do our MC expand. As we have seen in the previous video, we're going to chrono boost out 2 stalkers, make our nexus pretty fast, and I'm just going to deal with this, no big deal. And then we're going to cut probes and make 2 more gateways, a robo facility. There it is. And a simulator, and then a pylon. much going to finish at the same time. Got our Zealot, Stalker, warp in. Now we're going to slow it back down. I managed to sneak a pylon into his base, so I'm going to get a few SCV kills. I got 2. No real big deal here. I'm going to try and sneak in and get a look at his front door.
Base is under attack. Your probes are under attack.
So I'm making immortals. Got my should be making my first gas here at the natural. And of course I'm incredibly supply blocked when he killed my pylon, which is a very bad thing. Don't let that happen. Yep, there's a gas geyser getting taken. We pretty much just want zealots and sentries in this point in the game. Gonna make that observer. And you know, we just have to rely on those force fields and the zealots to hold off any early pressure. And my computer is getting really laggy right now, but we're gonna plow through it. I think it's clearing up. Alright, so we've got our expo up and running. We're going to start our 2 forges very shortly. Of course I have to go check out what he's up to, but I know that he is going bio and he has an expansion. Encountering some video problems, but I think it's cleared up. And I already see the factory and some pretty fast teching going on. There's our double forge getting started.
I am here in the shadows.
And at this time I see that he has starport finished. Or he will very shortly, so I'm going to go ahead and get these stalkers over here. The biggest danger when you're doing this double forge style is probably him sniping one or both forges. So we don't want to let that happen. We're going to make as many stalkers as we need to deal with drops. Doesn't really matter. And we're just making zealots at this point. Gonna chrono boost this. You have to constantly chrono boost these upgrades. Very important. Now I'm going to spread out these stalkers to make sure I have maximum vision. If he drops absolutely anywhere, I can just, you know, take it out. I should put gas in that gas geyser, but alright. So the upgrades are about 2/3 of the way done. I start my Twilight Council, which will finish right when these upgrades finish. Here comes his drop, but I'm going to deflect it. Not going to be a big deal. You have to expect the Terran's going to drop right when their medevacs come out. It's just an important thing that they need to try and do, to give them the map control and to do what they should be doing. So now he's going to try and do some cliff pressure. Not really as big a deal as an actual drop. And he's getting a bit bold here. He doesn't want me to snipe any of his medevacs.
Upgrade complete.
And we'll get 1 stalker for the cost of a couple Marines and Marauders. So we've got the Twilight Council finished. We're starting charge, and we're going to get 2/2. Notice how much gas we have. That's the only thing we're spending gas on at this point is these upgrades. Our 3rd base is almost finished, which is really fast for a 3rd base. I can see he's doing double eBay as well. But with Chrono Boost, we're going to be slightly ahead. So we're adding on those gateways, very important. Probably need to take that gas geyser. And he is going to be dropping over here. Going to get a free pylon and some stalkers. I do start the Templar Archives because I do want to spend that gas and get archives. Alright, 2 pylons. Not great, but what are you going to do? So charge is almost finished. You see the Terran has started his next base. Terran's at 1-1. So we're at even upgrades at the moment. Everything's fine. Got pretty much only Zealots, Immortals, Sentries. The Stalkers are up here to deal with the drops. And now we're going for the double robo. Going for the double robo Colossus off of 3 base, just like last game. He's giving us some sacrificial marauders, and that's fine. So 2-2 is going to finish pretty shortly. His 2-2 is about halfway done. Now I'm getting Warp Prism because why not? Warp Prisms are nice. I'm trying to use them a bit more. So lots more Zealots. Charge Zealots are good. Make them a lot. And you can notice that with this style, we get our third a lot faster than with the regular style. We're getting this Nexus up at about 10 minutes in game. And because we're not rushing to charge, we're actually, like, by the time you know, a normal stim medevac push hits, we can either have charge or we can have 2-2. And I'm starting to figure out that just 1-1 upgrades, because it's approximately the same amount of gas. And I think that the 1-1 is a little bit better. Like, you don't, I mean, it's about equivalent to charge, I guess. It's, charge, as I was saying, charge doesn't really win you that early battle. It helps a bit if he loses and he tries to run. But, you know, you're not winning that battle because of charge. You're winning it because of force fields, and the +1 armor is also very good. So I have morphed in a couple of High Templar for these Archons, making Colossus. And again, we're going to see that 3-3 timing with 2 Colossus. That's just a really, really strong timing. And I'm about maxed as well, so that's what this timing is. It's about 4 Colossus, 3-3 upgrades, and maxing out. Although I think I'm actually going to max out. Yeah, so here's that drop. Doing some damage. Yeah, he's down to 44 SCVs, so it's actually a lot of damage. And scouting out constantly. Pylons everywhere, getting a 4th. Good things to do in general. So those Colossus are coming out. +3 armor is going to finish soon. And it looks like I caught a little bit of a drop up here, but there's actually nothing in these medevacs. So just sort of a bad rally point or something here. And yet again, as we can see from the last game, I'm going to get stormed. Like, since I'm maxed and I've got every other upgrade in the game. And we've got the charge lots and the Archons. And, you know, EMPs don't really matter against the Zealots. We just have so much in the way of upgrades. We're ahead on upgrades during this battle. Terran's doing a good job upgrading as well, but we're just hitting a nice timing. Got our Colossus reinforcements 2 at a time. Very hard for Terran to deal with, especially when he also has to deal with the Archons and the charge lots. So he's going to just, you know, give up. I'm about to go drill this 3rd base up here. you can't really hold on to that. So, that's just another example of this double forge style, where we are delaying our charge a bit in favor of those faster upgrades, and we can get a faster third base without, basically just on pure gateway units, we can do that. Because of that 1-1 and good force fields. If you don't have good force fields, you probably shouldn't do this style. But yeah, that's going to be it. Just a kind of fun thing I've been playing around with more lately, and it's working out pretty well. So that's going to be it. Thanks for watching.